Good morning, everyone. We are continuing here in the words of the Beis Halevi and his Maimah Bitachon, and today we're starting a new chapter, Yud Gimel, number 13, entitled Chiyuv Hishtadlus Hurak Einish Ugezera. The obligation that a person must do Hishtadlus, make efforts in order to earn a living and a livelihood. It is nothing more than an einish, than a punishment, and a decree from Hashem. V'gam kedei shelo yecheta, and also it comes to prevent a person from doing sin. So the Beis Halevi now is going to begin to expound upon one of the most confusing aspects of the world of Bitachon, that if in fact a person truly trusts in Hashem, and we believe that everything that we have in our lives is coming from the Rabbi Shalom, and as we pointed out before, that whatever you need, if you're Beitech B'Hashem, HaKadosh Baruch Hu can bring, then why is there a necessity, seemingly a necessity, for a person to be involved in something called Hishtadlus, making effort in this world to gain his parnas, his livelihood, and the money and the finances that he needs? If you Beitech B'Hashem, HaKadosh Baruch Hu should take care of everything. Without you lifting a finger, Hashem should bring it all. So this is one of the famous questions in Bitachon. All of the svarim, all of the books and the works that deal with Bitachon have to deal with this as well. And the Beis Halevi is going to weigh in on his understanding of this seeming steer, the contradiction that we have between Bitachon and Hishtadlus and making effort. In reality, says the Beis Halevi, an Adam Shalim, which would be a perfect human being, would never have to lift a finger and do anything to produce some kind of financial gain in his life. All of his necessities, whatever he needs, they would have been prepared for him and made available without any exertion at all. And this, in fact, is the way that it was with Adam Arishon, the first man, before he did the initial sin, which was eating from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. When Adam Arishon and Chava were born, they were Adam HaShalom, they were a complete human being. They were lacking absolutely nothing. And therefore, before the original Chet, there was no need for them to lift a finger in order to do Hishtadlus and bring about their necessities. Why? As he quotes from the Gemara, Shahayu malachim tzaylin leibasa mesanin lo yain. There were angels that used to roast meat for Adam and Chava so they could feast on, and they would strain the wine for them to drink and imbibe. Kedisa beSanhedrin, like it says in the Gemara in Sanhedrin. In the beginning of time, HaKadosh Baruch Hu took care of every little detail of the life of Adam and Chava. They were lacking nothing. They needed nothing. Not even having to lift a finger to bring the food to them. HaKadosh Baruch Hu even brought the food to them. Didn't have to go out and hunt. Didn't have to shech. Didn't have to cook. Didn't have to roast. Didn't have to squeeze the grapes and press the grapes. There were malachim. There were angels that were taking care of everything so that Adam and Chava could be the spiritual beings that they were intended to be. Rak achar kach, however, after they ate from the Eitz Hadas Teivera, the tree of knowledge of good and evil, Nigzera Allah HaKadosh Baruch Hu decreed upon them, Bezeyas apecha toicha lechem, from the sweat of your brow will you eat bread. It is a gezerah that is in response to the sin which was committed. Shenenash shiunageya lahasig tzrochav. He was now punished that he's going to have to exert himself in order to reach his needs, what is necessary to survive and live in this world. It's not a good thing that a person has to go out to work. It's not a gift that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave them. Adarabba, on the other hand, over here says the Beis Halevi, it is a gezerah, a decree that is a punishment from the Rabbi Shalom. V'zeu begeda einish, as he writes again, this, that a person has to wake up in the morning and go to work and sit behind the desk 9 to 5, or be out there in the fields, or be on the phone, or on the computer, or running around on business meetings and appointments. All of that is begeder nenash, it is an einish, it is a punishment that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has given to the world Because if Adam Arishon never would have sinned, if he never would have eaten from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, then as we see clearly over here, the Malachim were already taking care of him. HaKadosh Baruch Hu provided him with all of his needs. There never would have been one reason for him to lift a finger and to do anything that would be the precipitating cause about bringing him his parnasa, his livelihood. So this is the first thing that the Beis Halevi writes over here, that a person must understand. Parnasa is not some amazing thing that a person pursues with all of his life and all of his zest and all of his force. It's a gezerah, it is a decree, which a heavenly decree in response to the eating of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, which was a chet, which was a sin that we were not supposed to do. And it is an einish, it's a punishment that HaKadosh Baruch Hu brought upon Adam Arishon. For had he stayed the Adam HaShalom, the complete man, he never would have had to do anything. He would have been free to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, with all of his needs taken care of, so that his neshama would be able to gravitate constantly towards Hashem. That's number one in the Beis Halevi. We'll see more tomorrow, Be'ez Hashem. Have a wonderful day.